the Chinese model is one where censorship and surveillance is built in. And believe me, that's not going to stay within Chinese borders. I predict, and you'll hear me now on stage, mark my words, within the end of the decade, there will be a digital bolivar, and it will basically be a white label version of the digital yuan. And it won't end with that country. Many countries around the world desire to surveil their citizens, and the available technology will be provided to them by the People's Bank of China. The world is going to be a series of decentralized, where they're not suppressed by governments, as in China, but also centralized digital money systems. And whenever you create that centralized system, you create massive honeypots of information that can be purloined, that can be abused by the controllers of the system, whether those are private actors or government actors. And we all need to be concerned about that future. We need to raise our voices, and we cannot fall into, I say, a false choice that say, well, let just the private sector do it. Because how's that worked out in free speech? We've seen and we know that our government, and it doesn't even need to get political, politicians will lean on social media platforms to suppress certain speech. Well, it's not a big intellectual jump to say they'll do the same thing with private sector stablecoin operators, to lean on them to ban certain activities. And the biggest disappointment to me in that stablecoin bill is it doesn't prevent the government from doing it. So if you're worried about privacy in CBDC, one should be just as worried about it in anyone. And whether that's even, that may be a digital euro, a digital pound, we've got to be concerned about. So the only way to fix this, I think, is technologically. The systems that are utilized, whether by governments or stablecoin operators, should be operationally transparent, and the obligations of non-censorship, non-surveillance should be built in and observable to all users of this.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. We will, and if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Sonali Basak. Sonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread it all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that it is all planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the books Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book. Remember, the New World Order book shows you how the world really works, and it is definitely time for you to wake up out of that sleep, especially in the times that we're in right now. And 2024 is going to be one of our most entertaining years. We have the presidential election. We have the drums are beating. We have the emerging markets going to be flipping the switch on the fourth industrial revolution. Now, we had the Fed signal rate cuts, but remember, guys, they haven't cut rates yet. So like I told you, I definitely see a big pullback in the first quarter. Then the master magician set up a distraction so the Fed can cut rates, and then we move up. And also, guys, I want to thank those who purchased the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, much love to those who donate to the Cash App, Patreon. Much love. Keep it coming. Guys, if you're not a part of the Patreon, make sure you're donating to the channel through the actual Cash App. But guys, this next Bitcoin and crypto bull run is going to be a utility run. So you want to make sure you have the cryptos that have real utility. And much love to those who are shopping at both stores. Keep it coming. And of course, guys, we get into Bitcoin and cryptos first.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And right now, we have Bitcoin and crypto slightly up. And don't forget, guys, we're the only game in town. And we know they need Bitcoin on the 5th for collateral. We do have interest rates moving up, so it will be less liquidity. But guys, we do this like clockwork every single month. Now, we had the U.S. jobs report 353,000 jobs in January. And guys, we know they're not talking about all the layoffs in January. I think we set a record or near a record. And anytime you're dealing with numbers, you can always play with them. We know the NWO are the master magicians. And anytime these corporations are saying they're laying off, their stock is moving up. And we know it used to be the opposite, because anytime you were laying off, it means you couldn't afford to pay your people. But we see the profits of these corporations doubling and tripling, doing buybacks, paying dividends, instead of adding people to their corporation. And unfortunately, the sheep are asleep. These corporations definitely shouldn't be able to get away with this. You have a corporation, 1 trillion, 2 trillion, 3 trillion in market cap. It is unbelievable. And we had 7 stocks get majority of the money last quarter. You can't make this stuff up. Now, guys, make sure you're paying attention to the actual indicators. We had yield rates slightly moving up. We had the dollar moving up. We have volume in crypto right now is slightly down. We have Tether, USDC, and then, of course, guys, we have the Fed. Repo at $513 billion. And we had Jerome in the House on Wednesday stating they're not cutting rates, and then said in March it's most likely still won't start cutting rates because we still have inflation. But we do hear the drums are beating. Remember, right now inflation is still sticky. We have drums are beating, and also we see the energy supply chain may be in jeopardy. So guys, we have all these distractions going on, but we know why. It's time for the NWO to build the fourth industrial revolution. Don't forget we're in a fragmented world. And guys, we had Project Enbridge last year, had 25 of the major central banks come together in order to start moving these wholesale CBDCs. And just about all the major central banks are included, and that's including the Fed. But if you look at the founding members, Arab, China, Hong Kong, this is proof that the emerging markets are going to be leading this fourth industrial revolution. And they're ready to flip that switch this year. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now, guys, do not forget about the spot Bitcoin ETFs. We had Grayscale, BlackRock, Fidelity. All of them were down at close, but then after hours, they slightly moved up. But getting over into a little crypto news. And guys, you can't make this stuff up. We have the DOJ charges Duo for crypto mining in school district amid U.S. energy scrutiny. And it looks like we had some school staff that was smart enough to put a mining operation together and use the school's energy. And they should have let them continue on running the operation, but all the money goes back to the school and the teachers. We know that teachers are definitely underpaid, and these schools are broke for no reason. Remember, guys, this technology can be used for good or evil. And then lastly, guys, we have Epic Games is listing a Call of Duty style crypto video game, Shrapnel. And we know how big gaming is and how big gaming is going to be. But just like everything else, gaming is going to transition. And it's only going to take 1 or 2 games to get everybody moved over. And there's definitely going to be a consolidation in the space. And we know who the winners are going to be, the same, PlayStation, Microsoft. But when it comes to investing in these gaming cryptos, you're definitely early. And I put a new video out in my Stock Premium Patreon account to get everyone ready for these next 3 to 6 months. But don't forget, we know the fourth industrial revolution is the go. So that means they want people sitting at home. If they're sitting at home, of course, they're going to be playing games. They'll have the little device over their eyes, traveling the world, sitting at home, getting free money. So we know we're moving over to the digital transformation. Only thing you have to do is get ahead of it. So then therefore you don't have to worry about falling for the devil's tricks. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. But that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books. Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.